Welcome back. I'm Verena Hardman.
And I'm Ken Hardman. In the introduction, we explained that this is a series of videos about how to form a healthy marriage based on a foundation of genuine trust and trustworthiness. For sure, no important relationship can survive and be healthy without trust and trustworthiness. At the same time, can genuine trust and trustworthiness exist without love? You may say that trust and trustworthiness cannot exist without love.
However, what does love mean if there is no common distinctive meaning for love in the English language? That is why in this video we begin to clarify the meanings of the words love, true, and true love. The next video will clarify the meanings of unconditional love, romantic love, and true romance. The meanings that we each accept for those different words about love motivate what we feel, think, say, and do in our relationships. They decidedly influence our ability to trust and be trustworthy in our most important relationships.
The meanings that we accept for those words will influence the degree to which we form and maintain a healthy marriage, or be a part of the national epidemic of loneliness, or be a part of the national health problems known as intimate partner abuse and violence. Let us start by clarifying a basic root meaning for the word love from which various types of love develop, such as parents' love, marital love, sibling love, friendship love, patriotic love, romantic love, and many more.
The meaning for love that you accept impacts whether you can wisely choose a marriage partner and knowledgeably form and sustain a healthy marriage. So what do you think is the meaning of love? It is one of the most commonly used words in the English language. Considering that, would you be surprised if you say that there is no distinctive meaning or common agreement for what the word love means?
There is no coherent society-wide framework to talk about love and to manage the love experience. Love is used as a filler word to describe something that people like without always knowing clearly or being able to explain why. Consequently, the word love is ambiguous, confusing, widely misunderstood, and misused. Do you doubt that? When you say, I love you, I love pizza, I love movies, I love music, or I love traveling, what does love mean? Define love.
Ask a family member or a friend the same question and compare your answers. Without realizing it, people interpret differently the meaning of love. That leads to widespread confusion and disagreements. It can lead people to hurt one another and to loneliness. The US Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy has reported that loneliness is literally an epidemic in our society. Loneliness is the perception of isolation or inadequate meaningful connections.
About half of U.S. adults surveyed say they experience loneliness, and young adults are almost twice as likely to report feeling lonely than those over 65 years old. Another reality is that the word love is often used to disguise and rationalize emotional and physical abuse and violence in dating and in marriage. These facts point to a critical need for a clear root definition for love and for true love, from which to clarify and manage what we feel, think, believe, and do in a relationship.
Here are some of the benefits for clarifying the meaning of love and true love. It can help us to be more self-aware and encourage us to better manage our feelings and thoughts when we consider writing or saying love to someone. It can enable our personal life to work better, enable us to be more thoughtful, and have more enriching personal relationships with our family, with friends, co-workers, and with people we meet every day.
If you're not married and desire to marry, then understanding the most basic meaning of love and true love can empower you to better manage your thoughts, feelings, and your desires for connection and emotional closeness. It can help you to make a wise decision whom to marry and to more likely get married right from the start. It can help you prevent getting hurt and hurting others when attempting to form a marriage.
If you are a parent and your son or daughter is a single adult who desires to marry, you can better partner, mentor, coach, and guide them to do that. If you are married, you can be more thoughtful to enrich your marriage. Before we provide for your consideration a comprehensive root meaning for the words love and true love, be aware that they are emotionally charged trigger words. They are directly connected to a person's sense of identity, who they are, what they value, and how they see themselves in relation to others.
Therefore, some people may strongly resist even examining the meaning of love and negatively react to any definition of love that's different from what they want love to mean. They may fear that what they believe about love is not true. You may become impatient and dismiss as too philosophical our efforts to distill an inclusive meaning for the word love. If you regard yourself as a spiritual or religious person, you may think that we're not being spiritual or religious enough.
Those different reactions are possible because deeply entrenched in our popular culture are widespread fallacies, which you may have accepted, about the meaning of love and how it should be used. Therefore, we encourage you to be patient, write down in your notes what you think the meaning of love is, and compare it thoughtfully with the one in this video.
If it helps when needed, you can pause this video to make notes. Life can be confusing at times. If we do not objectively step back and think about and distill a basic root meaning for the word love, then when asked, what is love? You may be tempted to say, well, love is love, and rationalize some surprising behaviors. That's what Lily, a French woman, did. She lives near Paris. After 2 failed romantic relationships with men, Lily created her love robot partner called Inmovator, using 3D plastic printed parts.
Lily said that she had accepted that it was against her own nature to be attracted to humans and decided that she loved robots instead. Lily concluded that love is love. She explained, I feel the same things that someone can feel toward a man or woman. A lot of tenderness, affection, attachment. Lily waits for French law to declare as legal a marriage between a human and a robot.
Okay, for your consideration, here is the root comprehensive definition of love that can be applied to various types of relationships, such as in our families, our friendships, at work, at school, and when forming a marriage. Love is a desire, a motivational force that seeks a relationship with an object of desire. This inclusive definition identifies the different parts of the love experience. It can and does encourage us to be more self-aware and to ask ourselves 2 questions.
One is, what am I feeling, thinking, believing about this person with whom I desire a relationship? And secondly, my feelings and thoughts may be real, but are they objectively true? That in turn can help us to choose our words more wisely and to mindfully connect our actions with those words, feelings, and thoughts. The next time you are inclined to say the word love, ask yourself those 2 questions. Try it.
That is basic self-management. If you're a single adult, demonstrating self-management is an essential indicator of trustworthiness. when you're being evaluated as a potential marriage partner, and when you are evaluating someone as your potential marriage partner. Understanding and managing our human love desire for relationship is critical. Yet efforts to study and clarify it have been inadequate.
The U.S. Surgeon General and the U.S. Public Health Service, in their 2023 Public Advisory, draw upon the best scientific research to confirm how essential our human desire and need for social connection are. They are like the need for food and water for survival. Even though we humans are biologically wired to seek social connection, it's obvious that we do that very poorly. Again, the Surgeon General reports that loneliness is a public epidemic, that it has gotten worse in the past 20 years, and lack of social connection can increase the risk of premature death as much as smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day.
That has much to do with the widespread confusion about the meaning of love and how to fulfill our human love desire for relationship. Even philosophers, social scientists, and psychologists have difficulty distinguishing love from liking a person, affection, lust, sexual desire, and humanitarian concern for others. Until the past 50 years, the scientists did not even believe that love could be objectively studied. It was regarded as too complex or frivolous.
Consequently, in the English language, love has no distinctive, comprehensive meaning. However, more recently, with the advances in technology, scientists from anthropology to neuroscience have been asking and studying what is love. Let us now examine the various definitions of love from 3 different dictionaries. We will use first principles thinking to distill them into the most basic meaning of love. You can see how they fit within the structure of this inclusive root definition of love, which is a desire, a motivational force that seeks a relationship with an object of desire.
This comprehensive definition of love and chart help us to make distinctions between different types of love. Instead of us reading the definitions, you can pause this video to view them in this chart. Here they are. Column 1 is the name of the dictionary. Column 2 lists the definitions expressing the desire, a motivational force that seeks a relationship. As a noun, the love desire can be expressed as affection, tenderness, liking, caring, goodwill that originates within our human mind.
As a verb, in other words, what love does, it seeks to connect in a relationship with an object of desire. As an adjective, love describes something such as a loving attitude. Column 2a clarifies column 2. It is the motivations, the mental states, the attitudes of feelings, thoughts, beliefs that motivate and determine the purpose and color the experience in the relationship that we seek. The motivations might be loyalty, sexual desire, pleasure, altruism, concern.
Column 3 is the object of desire. It can be a person when you say, I love you. It can be a place, such as, I love Paris. A thing, such as, I love pizza. The object of desire can be an activity, such as, I love listening to music, or I love taking a vacation. The object of desire can be a concept, such as, I love happiness, I love math, or I love it. And the object of love can be a quality or characteristic of something, such as, I love a simple life.
Our mental states are what we feel, think, and cause us to say the words and act in the way that we do. As humans with free will, we can manage our mental states to be healthy and creative, or cause them to be unhealthy and destructive. Within a family, the caring mental state of parents motivates them to pursue the purpose of unselfishly caring for their children. The healthy mental state of a child motivates them to pursue the purpose of receiving care and advice from their parents.
The healthy mental state of a husband and wife motivate them to pursue the transcendent purpose to unite spiritually and sexually with one another. Healthy mental states motivate a brother and sister to pursue the purpose of active support for the well-being of one another. We learn to extend those healthy brotherly and sisterly mental attitudes beyond our families to support the well-being of friends, of colleagues at work, of fellow members of a sports team, and for the well-being of mankind.
If you are not married and desire to marry, your mental attitude can either wisely or unwisely motivate and guide you to seek a potential marriage partner. And this is where special attention is needed. Even though philosophers, social scientists, and psychologists have difficulty distinguishing love from liking a person, affection, sexual desire, and humanitarian concern for others, they are all motivations that direct the love desire. As humans, we have the free will to manage our desires and motivations.
A major benefit of this inclusive, comprehensive definition of love is that it encourages us to become more self-aware, to question our assumptions, which can sometimes be wrong. It encourages us to ask ourselves, what motivates me to desire and seek a relationship with this person? Are what I feel, think, believe, and expect realistic and true about this person? That's especially important to ask when our object of desire does not reciprocate with what we desire and expect.
When it comes to love, we humans desire our object of love to reciprocate with us in certain ways. You may have heard it explained that we each have a favorite way that we like to receive love. Marriage and family counselor Gary Chapman has written several books about that desire. They have titles beginning with The 5 Languages of Love for different relationships. In other words, for married couples, singles, for men, teenagers, and children.
The form of love could be words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, acts of service, or physical touch. When our hope for connection and reciprocation are realized, then satisfying feelings and thoughts fill our mind. Mm-hmm. When that hope is not realized and not satisfied, then worry, regret, irritation, disappointment, or even fear or anger can fill our mind. This can occur in any relationship, whether it's within our family, among friends, at school, in our places of work, or elsewhere.
The mental state that motivates and guides us to seek a relationship can be confusing and lead us to have unrealistic expectations and make unwise choices. Have you heard someone lament, "How can something feel so good but be so wrong?" Extreme mental states are not healthy and can prevent normal functioning in daily life. That can happen both when our love desire for connection is realized and when it is not realized.
For instance, when a desire is realized and the excitement and the joy of fulfillment are prolonged, it can become excessive, frenzied, and compulsive, and can induce a loss of sleep and appetite. When a desire for connection is not realized and sadness is prolonged, is excessive and compulsive, then sadness can result in depression. Rage can also result.
Again, this can occur in any relationship, whether it is in your family, at school, in your job, or in public life. In the next videos, we will discuss romantic love and its symptoms of love sickness and psychological blindness, or love blindness, which are its common side effects. Although they are not clinically recognized disorders, they have very negative impacts on a person's mental and physical health. Sadly, popular culture normalizes and idealizes those negative mental states through romantic fallacies and myths in music, movies, reality television shows, and literature.
When you seek a marriage partner, the images in your mind of an ideal spouse, which is the object of your desire, can unconsciously, wrongly or rightly, channel your desire for connection to seek a person who matches those images. Whom you seek to love and marry influences your emotional, mental, physical health, your financial wealth, and even how long you will live.
That is why it is important when searching for a marriage partner to verify the trueness of what you think, feel, and believe about a potential marriage partner. It can be confusing when saying I love you or being the recipient of an I love you. Think about it. When someone tries to express their overwhelming, passionate desire to emotionally and physically connect with someone, and they do not know what else to say, by default, they often revert to say what they have seen, read, and heard in movies, television, songs, literature, or social media.
They say, I love you. In that context, I love you is widely presumed to be evidence of a person's highest and truest mental state of feelings of care, loyalty, and commitment for someone. It implies that you can trust me to be all in for you and always be there to care for you. However, is that what people really mean when they say, I love you? What are they thinking? Ask them, what do you mean?
The definition of love as a desire that seeks a relationship with an object of desire encourages us to ask that question. The words I love you may be disconnected from a person's intentions or abilities to demonstrate consistent, genuine care and commitment for the person who receives those words. They may not even know what genuine care and commitment mean, especially in a marriage. When asked what is love, and there being no commonly recognized distinctive meaning for love, a young adult may by default reply, love means all the good stuff, or with, I know it when I feel it.
When that question is part of helping them to evaluate their efforts to form a marriage, he or she may react defensively and reply, when I feel love, it's real because I feel it. And my feeling of love is true because I feel it, and it comes from my heart. You have no right to question or criticize what I feel, say, or do about love. Young adults may use this line of reasoning to assert that if they feel attraction to someone, then the feeling intrinsically must be true. And any criticisms about their dating behaviors and efforts to form a marriage, no matter how foolish or harmful they may be, are not respecting them as an adult.
Or they may stonewall and not answer any of your questions related to love and forming a marriage. Even when marriage is the intended outcome for saying I love you, how willing and able are people to sustain commitment, to care for the highest well-being of their hoped-for marriage partner? How long are they able to do that? Is it for a lifetime, or is it pizza love? Long enough only to finish eating a slice of pizza?
A lack of commitment is the number one cause of divorce. While the sciences explain how the desire for connection is biologically wired in our brains, they do not explain the essential reason beyond biology why we seek social connection. Why is it a universal human desire? The why deals with our human nature. We are created beings. As created beings, our Creator, parental God, has endowed us with a universal nature and desire to live in purpose-centered relationships so we can fulfill our human potentials.
This basic, inclusive root definition of love that we propose, which is a desire for a relationship with an object of desire, helps us to understand our human nature. Our human nature is universal. It is to love, to seek, to connect in a reciprocal relationship with other humans and with things in the natural world, and with activities like traveling, and to connect with ideas and concepts through knowledge. That is why we desire to love and be loved by the objects of our desire.
We desire and seek social connection, to trust and be trusted in relationships. We live within a universe that was created for us through our Creator God's personal parental love desire, which seeks meaningful and fulfilling relationships with us. Our universe exists through interconnected, smaller to larger, purpose-centered relationships. There is order and rationality in the universe. The universe reflects our human desire for connection and moral order.
It is no surprise that the human rights principle of self-determination is recognized as a universal principle. Why? It affirms that as human beings, we have an essential universal nature and dignity. We have human rights that flow from that nature. We have the human rights for self-determination, to make decisions that affect our destiny, without being deceived or coerced. Those rights must be respected to preserve a moral order and a safe, peaceful society.
As humans, we desire to know how the universe and the world works within which we live. We desire to love, to connect to people and to our world through knowledge acquired through our senses and the sciences, technology, the arts, philosophy, and religion. Let us now consider the words true and true love. Be aware that true is also an emotionally charged word, especially when connected with the word love.
Widespread cynicism leads people to presume that things in life are relative and to doubt anything that claims to be absolute or universally valid. Widely accepted is the belief that all things of importance in human relationships last for only a short time, that they are temporary. Cynicism can prevent you from forming sustaining a trustworthy relationship. Consider the dictionary definition of true.
True is defined in the Merriam-Webster dictionary as fully realized, consistent, essential, loyal, honest, truthful. In the Oxford English Dictionary, true is defined as connected with facts rather than things that have been invented or guessed. Similarly, the Collins Dictionary defines true as based on facts, is accurate and reliable. Therefore, in the context of human relationships, true love describes the love desire, which is motivated by a mental state of feelings, thoughts, and beliefs that are fully loyal, honest, truthful, and reliable.
They enable us to be a true man, a true woman, who informs our conscience to seek a standard of good that enables us to be fully loyal, honest, truthful, and reliable. Unreflective impulses would not control our relationships. The unconscious feelings and thoughts that surface through our intuition would be evaluated for their trueness by our mindful reasoning abilities to guide us to be loyal, honest, truthful, and reliable. We would consciously act to reduce the impact of biases, like seeing only what aligns with our prejudices.
True love enables us to be trustworthy in our relationships, whether in our family, in friendships, at work, or in public life. When reflecting on our feelings and beliefs about ourselves and other people, it's prudent to ask Are my feelings and beliefs objectively true? Am I acting as a true man? Am I acting as a true woman? Am I trustworthy?
Mm-hmm.
If our feelings and beliefs are not objectively true, then they're not a reliable basis to premise important relationship decisions. We need to determine what is true. These videos help to know thyself. In the next video, we will discuss unconditional love, romance, romantic love, and true romance. See you next time.